I'm Frank Guerra. San Antonio police are calling it a strange homicide. They're looking into a case of murder.
I'm meteorologist Kurt Schmitz, and our weather's going to stay nice and sunny, but it won't be as warm as it was today.
I'm Gary DeLon. Hey, was that exciting? The NBA won in the game today. They had a great crowd. West won it in overtime, and TCU bumps the Aggies.
Eyewitness News is next.
Eyewitness News, San Antonio's top-rated satellite newscast.
San Antonio police are calling it a strange apparent homicide. The body of a Hispanic man was found this afternoon in his Northside apartment. There was no sign of forced entry or a struggle, and there were no visible wounds on the body, but foul play is a definite possibility. Yolanda Graham covered the story and is here with details. Yolanda?
Frank, just about the only thing police can say at this point is that this is a strange case. The 48-year-old man was found on his living room floor at the Ponderosa Apartments on Vance Jackson. Around 1 o'clock this afternoon, EMS was called to the scene for a sexual assault at apartment 137. But later, homicide detectives were called in, as well as detectives from the Special Sex Crimes Unit. The victim did not show up for work at a West Side pawn shop yesterday, and today his boss came looking for him, and the body was found when the apartment manager opened the door.
I can tell you that the body has been here, about 18 hours, and the body was found bound. Certain parts of the body are bound, but at that time I have nothing else to say as far as the body is concerned.
Police won't specify at this time how the man was tied, and they won't tell us if he had his clothes on or why the original call was a sexual assault. So with no blood or any visible wounds at all, we'll have to wait for tomorrow's autopsy to know more. And Frank, the victim's name is not being released until relatives are notified.
Did anyone see or hear anything?
No, we talked to a lot of the neighbors in the area. They didn't hear any scuffling or screaming. There was no gunshot, so no one heard anything like that.
Very strange case.
It's a mystery.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Police today released the name of the small child killed yesterday in a one-car crash. The 4-year-old is identified as Renee Padgett of the 3000 block of Mission Road. Renee was killed when his father, Ronald Padgett, lost control of his truck and crashed into a telephone pole on Mission Road. Ronald escaped serious injury. A third passenger in the truck, 20-year-old Adam Estrada, remains at Southeast Baptist Hospital in stable condition. Police believe the truck may have skidded on loose gravel before the fatal accident. Police say no one was wearing seatbelts. In Houston, an unemployed mechanical engineer has been arrested for stealing $300,000 from automated bank tellers. 31-year-old Travis Loofborough is being held on a $100,000 bond. Authorities picked up Loofborough at his home Friday night. They seized burglary equipment and stacks of bills. Authorities believe he broke directly into the teller vaults to steal the money. The best way to solve the illiteracy problem is before a child's first day at school. That's the idea behind a proposal called Even Start. Congressman Bill Woodling from Pennsylvania is studying the idea in a congressional committee. During a press conference at the convention center today, the congressman said Even Start would get parents and their children involved in preschool training.
So my hope is that we can work with the parent to improve their literacy skills, and at the same time teach them the kind of things they have to know in order to help their preschool children become reading ready by the time they get to school. Otherwise, there's no even start.
The congressman was in town earlier today speaking at the National Association of Secondary School Principals Convention. Voices rang out from the Convention Center arena today, and in case you're wondering, the Spurs didn't play and a rock band wasn't in town. Instead, 90 students with the Hobby Middle School Choir put on a concert. Not only did the 7th and 8th graders perform for their own principal, but principals from 9,000 other schools attending the National Convention. You're invited to listen in, too. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Adonai, I will praise until I die, El Shaddai. Last week, the choir performed for judges at the University Interscholastic League contest, and it received superior marks. Still ahead, a Good Samaritan comes to a rescue in a 1981 Oldsmobile. We'll explain, and if you've taken the marriage plunge, today is your day. You know, we had mentioned that there are like 7,000, 8,000 principals in school. We couldn't have asked for better weather.
It was fantastic out there. We thought last weekend was good, but I think, even outdid ourselves this time. The nice weather is going to continue, although probably not with the 80-degree temperatures that we saw today. The reason? A cool front, which has crept into the state of Texas during the day today. It's not in San Antonio yet, and that's why we had such warm temperatures. Readings south of this front have been in the 70s to around 80 degrees today. To the north, though, this front has produced some rather chilly readings, along with some rather strong winds, readings in the 40s and 50s up in the Panhandle. And we're going to see some of that wind and some of that cooler weather be upon us later on tonight and tomorrow as that front moves through our area. Nothing but fair skies, though, throughout Texas and, in fact, throughout the entire central portion of the country. A few scattered high clouds out west, and that's really all that we can find today. Pretty typical February-type weather map we're looking at today, with low pressure centered around the Great Lakes. Now, this has turned into a good little winter storm. They're getting some snow where it's cold enough and rain elsewhere along with this Great Lakes system, but the real problem has been the real strong winds that are coming across the lakes and producing some of those lake effect snows. Very chilly temperatures, too. Wind chills way down below zero in portions of the northern Midwest. This high is the one that's pushing that front southward and will be bringing cooler temperatures to Texas later on tonight and tomorrow. And by tomorrow, that whole storm system is going to wind up and become a pretty good snowmaker for the Northeast. They're going to have some rather heavy snows in that section of the country. Another front coming down, but we should see high pressure dominating our weather, so the temperatures will be cooler, but the sunshine should stick around. We'll be back to take a look at the current conditions and your forecast for the week ahead in just a minute.
Levi's quality, Levi's good looks, and a lot of Levi's to choose from, then you need to visit the Western Store Harry's. Levi's newest jean, the 557, only $12.99. Levi's original jean, the 501 shrink to fit, always $15.95. Levi's Saddleman blue jeans, the time tested for quality, always $14.99. All these Levi's at the Western Store Harry's, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap. Corner of Babcock and Hillcrest.
Remember last year about this time how you had to pay and pay and pay just to renew the auto liability insurance on your car?
Think young. Rodney D. Young.
Avoid all that and insure your car with the Rodney D. Young Agency. There's never a down payment. Your first month's premium puts your insurance in force. Call 523-1351 now. 523-1351 for the office near you.
Think young. Rodney D. Young.
Loop 410 at Ingram and 410 at Perrin Beidel.
Right now we have sunshine, temperature of 78 degrees. This humidity is about as low as you'll ever see it in San Antonio. 15%, very, very dry air all day today. Winds have switched around to the north at 9, and the pressure is rising. Well, we had a west wind most of the day today, and that boosted our temperature up to 80 degrees for a high. Our morning low was 36. That's a 44-degree spread from our low to our high today. My forecast back from Friday was for only 72, so even I underestimated how warm it would get, and we've, of course, had no rainfall today. The forecast for tonight, mostly clear. It'll be breezy and chilly once that front goes through. Lows dropping down to 38 by morning, and those winds north to northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So look for a rather chilly one when you get up tomorrow morning, but otherwise it will be mostly sunny and cooler with a high around 63 and east to northeasterly winds. The 5-day outlook shows that temperatures will be warming up just a bit into Tuesday, mid-60s, and then for Wednesday we should be back above the 70-degree mark with no rain in sight, really, and just a little bit of clouds here and there through the next 5 days. So it looks like a good week ahead, Frank. I don't know if we'll see 80 degrees again, but it should at least be back up into the 70s before long.
That's almost California weather.
It is very much like California weather, with the low humidity, the 80-degree temperatures, and the nice light winds, probably even better than California.
Thank you.
Okay.
San Antonio had a treat this weekend. Actress Heather Locklear, who appears on TV's Dynasty, flew into our city yesterday. It was all because of the grand opening of the President's Health and Racquetball Club. The health center at 410 in Bandera is a 43,000-foot club and costs $3.5 million. Locklear said this morning that President's Health Club's entry into the San Antonio market represents a growing demand here for sophisticated health and fitness facilities.
But I think you need a bigger one for the atmosphere to accommodate more people, and because I think fitness is important everywhere, and everyone's very aware of it. Want to keep themselves healthy.
The club has an array of exercise equipment, aerobic classes, and a swimming pool. We'll be back with sports, the NBA All-Star Game.
That's the same club that asked me to do an ad for them, the one we did before.
Oh, really? I wonder if Heather has to work out to keep her trim figure.
I don't know, but who cares?
Now there's a full-featured camcorder this small that replays through your TV or your VCR. Zenith's compact VHS. It's in a league by itself. Zenith. Quality.
Now is the time to buy your quality Zenith from Benny's TV and Appliances. 4 locations in San Antonio. That's Benny's TV and Appliances.
You know, it's hard to believe the Pro Bowl last week was such a dud, and then the All-Star game today is so exciting.
One of the most exciting in all of the almost 4 decades of NBA All-Star games. It was a great one. In one of the most exciting of the 37 All-Star games, the West won today before 32,000 fans in the Seattle Kingdom, 155-149. Now, Spur Alvin Robertson was a factor early in the game. He scored from the free throw line. He hustles. He's there to grab the carom, and he scores from the field. Alvin was a factor early in the game. Now, here's Larry Bird missing from the three-point range. And who's there to grab the rebound? Our young man, Alvin. And it's to Magic. And Alvin is there. Puts it up. This time he misses, but he was still there to grab the rebound. Now, that was Jordan. Here it is to Magic. Fast break. Watch this move. It's to Worthy, his teammate. And James puts it in for 2. It was exciting all the way. Here's the Duck, his last game. He'll retire to this year. He got standing ovations. He goes in for the 2. He'll set up practice elsewhere. And there's Tom Chambers, the local favorite, who scored 34 points, was the most valuable player in the game. Here's the drive by Dominique. He misses one, and he's fouled. Now here is Akeem missing a shot, and he puts it in again. And here's Chambers, the Seattle guy. And there's Robertson. They collide, but he puts it in anyway. The leading stealer in the NBA from out front. The shot is missed. Bird misses the rebound. Saved back to Doc. Watch this move, and we go to slow motion. Unbelievable. That's why he's the Doc. Fast break. Underneath to McHale, to Isaiah. Watch the behind all-star move to Lane Beer, his teammate. Unbelievable. The largest crowd ever to see an NBA All-Star game. They loved every minute of it. West 154, East 149. In college basketball today, number 2 ranked Indiana romped over Michigan by a score of 83-67. North Carolina captured its 20th win in overtime over Virginia, 74-73. TCU had to battle the Aggies, but they did. They won it 55-50. They're 10-1. They're 19-4 for the season. The Aggies lost their 5th in a row. Kansas fought off Notre Dame 70-60. In the exciting win over Cavaliers of Virginia, J.R. Reed actually won it with a jumper coming up in just a second. He's at the free throw line on the left side. Back out, jumps, pumps, and scores. He's fouled. He makes it a 3-point play. Virginia will come back on a play by Johnny Johnson, 74-71. This is actually the last score of the game coming up here. Clock is showing less than 50 seconds when he hits it. Johnny Johnson drives. He hits 74-73, and that's the way it ends. Tim Mayotte upset John McEnroe today in the U.S. Pro Indoor Tennis Championship, so Mac is not back. The score was 3-6, 6-1, 6-3, 6-1. Mayotte picks up $67,000. More sports in just a moment.
Remember how great you felt when your car was new and beautiful? Boy, what a feeling. But how about now when your car is ugly? Better take a look at Maaco's famous half-and-half car and get in right now on Maaco's chain-wide half-price sale. You get a supreme paint job with new ultraviolet sunscreen coating for longer, better protection. Right, a better paint job at half the price. Here's how.
The Maaco Supreme Paint Job. Regularly $349.95, now only $175. Sale ends February 28th.
Act now.
I usually don't get this involved, but there was this one case where I really blew my top. It seemed this man was suing a pet grooming shop because he claimed they lost his cat. The grooming people said the cat bit one of the groomers and ran away. The man was so upset, he walked out of the courtroom before the verdict. How does a great judge handle a thing like that? You should have seen Judge Wapner.
Another good case for watching the People's Court.
The People's Court, weekdays at 4:30 on KENS TV.
Last night, we watched Donald Curry pound unbeaten Tony Montgomery into submission. Today, it was in Providence, Rhode Island. It is a lightweight bout. Vinny Pazienza, a real super showboat with talent to match, fights before his hometown fans. He's pounding Elizondo as he has for 9 rounds now. He's well ahead on points, although Elizondo has been a formidable opponent. Pazienza pummels and pounds, and finally, Catching him on the ropes, the referee will have to stop in with 4 seconds left. He's wearing the sequin trunks, and he's a showboat, but he's a good one. They call him the Rhode Island Belter, and that's the way it ended. Bill Elliott primed the pump for next week's Sunday's Daytona 500 when he roared back from an early deficit to capture the $210,000 Busch Classic at the historic raceway today. Elliott, the pole sitter, was driving a new Ford Thunderbird. He earned $75,000 for his victory. There will be a new member in the Ladies Golf Hall of Fame in the near future. Today, Nancy Lopez, and that's no surprise, she won her 35th tournament as she captured the $200,000 Sarasota Open. She finished with a 281, 3 strokes better than Kathy Baker and Anne-Marie Pali. Nancy picked up $30,000. It's not over yet, but Craig Stadler continues to lead the Hawaiian Open in Honolulu. That's a $600,000 tournament. And by the way, Brian Bosworth of Oklahoma says he wants to return to Oklahoma next season instead of turning pro.
Will they let him?
I think the way he plays, if he can get his act together, they'll say, come on back, Boz.
Thank you, Gary. Still ahead, we'll stop and smell the roses and the daisies and the zinnias when we come back. Here is a case of counting your chickens before they're hatched. Recently, state officials were pleased when a federal judge ruled against them in a lawsuit but told them they only had to pay $1 in damages. The lawsuit stemmed from the closing of a school for troubled teens back in 1973. The state had shut down that school, prompting the lawsuit. Well, the state was ready to pay that $1, but now a federal judge has told them they must pick up all the legal costs. The bill, $318,000. The state, as you might imagine, is nice evening, and join us tonight at 10.
That meat-eating plant, good thing it's not a little bit bigger. That would be fearsome.
Little shop of horrors.
Yeah.
There's only one place on the radio you can turn to when you want to relax. It's KQXT FM 102. KQXT is the only station in San Antonio with music that's light and easy to listen to. A perfect blend of instrumentals and songs by your favorite artists like Streisand, Diamond, and Mathis. Just light and easy music to keep you company wherever you are. Listen for yourself, and then tell your friends about the only place to relax. KQXT FM 102.
Here's some good news for anyone who likes to save money. Kroger is having a General Mills instant rebate sale. You can save up to $7 at the checkout on assorted General Mills products, like cereals, cake mixes, and more. Look for special coupons in this week's circular. You save 2 ways with Kroger Cost Cutter specials and instant rebate coupons. Now that is good news, especially for those who like to save money. Add up the difference. Go Kroger.
What it takes to win in Superior Court.
I'll fight to see that every person gets a fair defense, even the poorest and the most unpopular. I became a lawyer for them.
Wait just a minute, lady. I got a question for you. Why are you turning your back on your own people and defending that racist pig?
You assume a lot, Mr. Ray. In this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, no matter what the color of your skin.
Weekdays at 4 on KENS TV.
What do you want most in a game show? Challenging puzzles.
Oh, no, not right.
Competition.
Jamie.
Fill in the blank!
You got it.
Excitement.
That's right.
Surprises. And the largest jackpot on television.
Who's there? You got it! You got it!
The $1 million chance of a lifetime gives you what you want most.
Weekdays at 3:30 on KENS TV.
Channel 5,